Hello, Indian Express team. I have decided to record this video to share some feedback about about uh, your ePaper's user interface. I've been reading a newspaper for a very long time, but I think your ePaper's user interface requires a lot of improvement. So first of all, I was not able to. I'm in an Android simulator right now. I was not able to download your Indian Express ePaper for some reason. And for some equally strange reason, I was able to download the Financial Express ePaper and it's working perfectly fine. So I'll dive straight into it. And the problems that I'm facing with your Financial Express ePaper user interface are the same problems that I face with your Indian Express, the main ePaper app as well. So I've just opened the Financial Express portal for demonstration purposes, but the problems are still the same. So the first problem is that when I zoom in, I can zoom in up to the point, but no further, and the text gets really pixelated. And if I want to if I want to bring this to the center of the screen, I can't do that because the margins are really small. The margins are really narrow, and uh, it's also very difficult to navigate through pages. Like I can use this slider, and it shows me the page number and a brief preview. Like when I leave, the preview goes away, of course, and that's all right. But as I'm sliding, it's very difficult for me to know which page this is. Is this the editorial page 10 by 24? Or is this the explainer page? Or is this the opinion page? It's very difficult for me to see that. So if you could just write a text over here, page 12, markets, or page 13, sports, page 15, states, it will be easier for me to navigate. Now coming to the bigger problem. If I click on an article, it doesn't generate an HTML text dialog. Let me show you exactly what I mean. So this is the Hindu e-paper, and they also have their own problems with the navigation, but one thing which I like is that um, if I click on an article, it generates a very easy to read, clean format text. There are some problems with this as well. So, namely, when you're printing on a hard copy, it's very natural that you don't have a lot of space on the front page. So you print a little bit of the report on the front page and the remainder on an interior page. And after that, you just write, you say continued on page 8. But when you are reproducing the same report in a digital format, this makes absolutely no sense. So this says continued on page 8. I get really irritated when I read this. They could just write continued on page 8 as a subheading, continue from page 8 rather, as a subheading, and just print the rest, just reproduce the rest of the text over here itself instead of having me exit this portal and then go to page 8. And also, it's very difficult to find page 8. Using my common sense, I'm going to say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But this turns out to be page number 12. So I have to scroll and scroll and scroll and say, oh, so this is the news report that's continued from page 1. It's a mess. They should reproduce this text. They should reproduce this text over here itself, or they could you make this a hyperlink, make this a clickable link that I click, and then I can just go straight to that news report. The other thing that neither the Hindu has nor Indian Express is that they don't have a dark mode. And the dark mode is something very basic these days for somebody who reads a lot online. I'll go to the Financial Express app, um, and this is something that even Adobe Acrobat has. You see, I just downloaded a PDF of the Hindu or whatever the Indian Express, and Adobe Acrobat just generates a dark mode version of it. The only downside to this is that I need to download PDF first, and this just if I forget to delete those PDFs, my desktop just becomes really cluttered. So that's the only downside. Now I'll come to the one more thing before I forget. The iPad also suffers from the same navigation problems. This is the iPad. This is a screenshot. This is a static screenshot of the iPad ePaper, and it suffers from the same navigation difficulties. So it shows me the page numbers, and when I'm reading the news report, this thing kind of disappears. It fades out, which is perfectly fine. But it's very difficult to see it's very difficult to tell. So let's say I want to go straight to the editorial page. I want to go straight to the sports page. It's very difficult to know which is the sports page and which is the editorial page. It just gives you the page number. So I think you should write 9 sports and 10 editorial, something like that. Even the Hindu doesn't have that. The Hindu also, it sucks at navigation. Like it at least tells me the description of the page, but it doesn't tell me the page number, and it makes no sense if you're referencing pages by the page number, right? So just write pages here. Anyway, so I'll just go straight to the web browser experience. The Hindu also doesn't have a dark mode, but I do have an app. I do have an installed plugin. So if I were to click, so it just inverts the colors and generates a dark mode version for me that's not natively generated by the Hindu UI UX. So I just click on it and generates a dark mode, which is quite good actually. It's decent. I mean, it's good that the dark mode at least works, but in the Indian Express, this thing does not work at all. The other problem with the web browser experience of Indian Express is that when I click, it just zooms in. And then I can only zoom in or out. So I can zoom in by one step, but I cannot zoom out by one step. If I have to zoom out, I have to zoom out entirely. I cannot. And why do you have, like, why can't you just have a slider for zoom? It makes no sense. Just give me a slider for zoom instead of these 3 discrete intervals. And when I zoom out, it zooms out entirely. If I zoom in, it zooms in only by one step. It doesn't zoom in all the way. So just to summarize, I cannot zoom out by one step. It only zooms out entirely. And I cannot zoom in entirely. It only zooms in by one step. And when I zoom in, this thing disappears, the navigation disappears entirely. Just make this a collapsible thing, right? Like, uh, where I can just navigate even when I have zoomed in entirely. And then again, I have absolutely no idea where I am on that page. I have to use this. I can't use the hand tool anymore. I have to use these sliders. It's a mess. Um, so it only zooms in or zooms out. It does not generate a text, as I showed you. This thing at least generates a text. Uh, I mean, I hate the content of the Hindu, but the UI UX of the Hindu is far better than the Indian Express. So I can only zoom in or zoom out. I can't generate a text. I can't zoom out by one step, and I cannot zoom in entirely. So that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Even so, I have to resort to, you know, uh, downloading a PDF and then using Adobe's inbuilt features to navigate, which is far better. I can even annotate. Like if there's something I don't understand or I need to look up, I can just put up a comment here. I think this is something you should allow in your app as well, that readers can annotate and maybe save bookmarked articles if they want to get back to them later. So that's a bit of an issue, I would say. So that's all at the moment. I hope you can look into all these features and implement these at the earliest. Uh, and both your Android, iPad, as well as your uh, web browser experiences suffer from the same problems. It also suffers from the lack of a text dialog box and dark mode, and even the zoom functionality needs to be a little refined, as I showed you. So these are 3 or 4 things that you can work on immediately. Well, if not immediately, then hopefully in the next